Hello everyone, welcome to your Q&A ahead of Game Week 37. Sam and I are slightly, what's the word? Okay, I was gonna go for FPL sad, but we're not. Yeah, well, you're definitely not football sad because we were at the game last night, weren't we? And it was hell of a result for Spurs.
Yeah, and actually, I can't even bring myself to be FPL sad when a result like that happens. Like, this is the one time, like, surely you can take heart from the Brighton result of the weekend. Like, that makes you feel better about FPL life, right?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It was a great result for Brighton, but the if it had been like a kind of a week where I dropped a little bit, a small red or something like that, then it would have done. But it was a brutal game week for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 90 something points and still went down 30,000 places.
I got 98. The safety
98.
score was 110. And it's just like, oh, I said to you last night, didn't I? We were sat at the game and I was like, right, when Harry Kane scored his second, I was like, I'm going to check my live FPL because surely there's a green arrow now.
Captain,
No.
Kane captain you had as well. Yeah.
Kane captain, yeah. No. I was just like, oh, man
It's
alive,
crazy.
what do I have to do to get a green arrow this season? It's just one of them things, and
I mean the highest score was 220.
insane.
And my score was 65. Like it's just I've never known a week quite like it. And I looked at my team and I'm just thinking, how the hell did these guys only get 65?
We said that last week, didn't we? When I was
Yeah,
moaning about my team last week, we both sat here and we said, on paper, these look like great teams. And
yeah.
I remember saying, but mine will probably do badly. And here we are again. But they haven't actually done badly. You know, I had Reece James, I had Mount, I had Kane, and Kane was captained. But nonetheless, it's another red arrow, and it makes you kind of go, "Oh man, come on!"
There was just so many players on kind of free hit templates and bench boosts. Foster, Mount, Laporte, De Bruyne, obviously big on free hits. Nketiah, he was like 50% owned in the end because of all these things, and they all just came in. Everton defence, but not the striker, which I bought, Richarlison.
Holgate.
Yeah. Holgate, who we recommended to someone on the last stream, that was the one success. Yeah, and there wasn't much Chelsea rotation like we thought there was going to be. They played almost full strength in the second game. City barely rotated. Your Foden missed the first game but still scored, and there was just points everywhere except for the players that I got, and not enough for you for some reason to get a green. But anyway. We are here. It's the Q&A. We will stop lamenting our failures. All we can do is look ahead to Gameweek 38. So 37, not 38 yet. Sorry, 37, which is on Sunday. So get your super chats in. If you're not aware, any money you donate for your questions on the super chats goes to Street Child United. There's a link to that in the description below if you want to know more about it. Essentially, they set up World Cup football for street children and sort of to raise awareness and money for people and children living in poverty across the globe. So it's a great charity. Amazing sort of initiative. Gianni works for them as well as part of his kind of main job. So if you want to know any more, you can talk to him. Check out the link. But yeah, get your super chats in. We will attempt to answer them. Hopefully, we won't say something like, "Oh, don't worry about getting De Bruyne when he scores 4 goals and gets an assist and a load of bonus." So we've had one super chat already from Anonymous. There's no name, but he is from Brentwood, and I'm sure Anonymous from Brentwood has asked this question before. But hi Brentwood boy from Worley. I know Worley well. Using bench boost, should I do a hit for Broja to a double game week forward? If so, who? If so, should I do Dubravka Ramsdale for a double game week keeper? But here's the cincher, and here's the problem that I've got: only 0.3 in the bank. So, what double game week forwards are there for less than 6 million? Come to you,
Not
Sam.
many. Not many
is the answer.
Palace, I suppose. But are they even cheap enough? Hang on, I'm gonna have to get the app up.
Well, they are, but who, you can't trust any of them to start. You've got Mateta. I think Mateta's 5'3", Edouard's 6, I use 5'8", but realistically, you're not going to go down the Crystal Palace route. It's the same predicament I've got. I've got Hwang, right, 5.4. I'm debating taking a hit because I'll come on to the second part of that question in a second. But I've already made a transfer. I'm debating a hit. If you've only got 0.3 to upgrade Broja, that means you've got 5.7.
Yeah.
There are no double game week forwards, except for maybe one who's very left field, which is Ashley Barnes of Burnley at 5.2. There is no one else. Well, can you find a gem at 5.7?
No, but okay. So the other thing to consider here is, do they have like? So I know that as FPL fans and managers, we all love a double game week player and we all love to invest in them. But the reality is that this double game week could end up being one of those game weeks where it's the single game week teams and players that actually do better. So like, I don't know that I would get so het up on having a double game week player that's...
Okay. What any forward would you get for 5.7, regardless of if they've got a double? The only one that I can spot who isn't 5.7, is a little bit more, is Welbeck, 5.9. Or you just go really boring and you get Nketiah for 5.6.
Nketiah is probably what I would do.
So do you do Broja to Nketiah for a -4?
No.
Probably not.
No. I think if you're going to -4 on something, it's got to be a compelling reason. And I look at the Arsenal fixture this weekend, and I hope that it's going to be a challenging game for them. You know, I think Newcastle are going to have a number of their key players back. Obviously, you know how I was saying about Wilson and Trippier hopefully being available for him to start this time around. If that happens, then you know that could be a difficult game. I think if you're taking a -4, be sure that it's for somebody that's going to play twice if they're a double game week player. And I don't think we can be sure that these cheap forwards are going to play twice. And if they're not going to play twice, then be sure that they've got a game where they could return well to get you the -4 back again. And Nketiah could return well against Newcastle, but I'm not certain that he will, and therefore I just stick with Broja.
I mean, the only good thing about the Broja to Nketiah move is it potentially gives you Nketiah for 38 as well, who's got Everton at home, which is a nice fixture. I was a bit worried that he might miss out. If Arsenal had won last night and Arsenal had already sealed top 4, I would have thought maybe Lacazette could come in, but I think Nketiah starts both of the next 2 now. So yeah. I think Broja to Nketiah is worth the -4 if you're going to play Nketiah in 38. But if you're not, then I just wouldn't. I don't think I'd bother. Not for a -4. It's. Yeah. Oh, he's already got Nketiah. Brentwood boy here. Already got Nketiah. So, yeah. No.
Then I'll just stick with Broja.
Yeah, same. What about the goalkeeper? So I've already moved Ramsdale to Pickford.
Man alive.
Yep, I know. It is. I did it in the car back with you yesterday.
You did. You did tell me.
From the Spurs game. It's very boring. I just think, realistically, I would be very surprised if Ramsdale kept a clean sheet, given the way Arsenal have got problems at centre-back, the way he's playing in general. Everton have got 2 good home games. I think even for a hit, that pays itself back. Even if I have to make another move, I still think Ramsdale to Pickford. So they're the same price as well. You can't really go wrong. I would do that. And then I had the same 2 keepers as you, Brentwood boy, Dubravka and Ramsdale. I moved Ramsdale to Pickford, so I say yes.
Pickford.
Would you keep Ramsdale though? Would you?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I said to you last night, I think Ramsdale hasn't played well for weeks now. He always looks like he's going to make a mistake. He's not making the same level of saves that he was earlier on in the season as well. So the additional points aren't there. Arsenal have got defensive woes definitely going into this one. Obviously, they lost Holding last night. Gabriel went off injured. Like, there's so many potential issues there. Defensively for them. Do I see them keeping a clean sheet against Newcastle? Well, no, I don't. Not in the last home game of the season at St James's Park. I suspect that with Callum Wilson back and with, you know, Newcastle are one of those teams where middle of the table could argue that, you know, nothing left to play for, but actually it's the complete opposite at Newcastle right now, because they're going to have a massive summer in the transfer window, you would expect. And therefore, a lot of these players are going to be playing for their future at the club, wanting to, you know, secure their position for next season. So I think Ramsdale's going to have a very difficult game against Newcastle. So selling him for Pickford does make a lot of sense, particularly as Pickford plays twice. It's Pickford, and we know he's got mistakes in him as well.
Yeah, I've got a really itchy nose. Hay fever's starting.
Oh, no.
I'm so British. As soon as
You are.
as soon as the winter ends and everyone's really happy, I get really upset because then hay fever starts and my nose. But so yeah, I'm not picking my nose. I'm sort of scratching it from the outside.
Could have given you a Piriton, couldn't we?
I've got some in the cup. I haven't taken one today for some reason. Cameron Starr, you guys and Janny are FPL royalty. Great content. Thanks, Cameron.
That's really kind. Thank you.
FPL royalty. I mean, you're definitely the queen of FPL.
Well, I'll take that.
There's already an FPL prince, so he's got that. I think
you could be the Duke.
I'll take that. Yeah, I'll be the Duke. I was going to say, based on last week, I'm kind of more like the court jester, but
no,
I'll take Duke. That's a nice one.
I don't know. Like, Johnny can be the emperor.
Oh, don't give him that.
He'll love that.
He would. Yeah, that's the problem. He'd love that too much. Emperor Gianni. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not too good on that. Oh, we're out of super chats. Come on, guys, get your super chats in. All the money goes to Street Child United. We'll definitely answer those questions. Let's take a look at some of the other ones that are coming on. Lots of people just saying afternoon. It's nice, isn't it?
Afternoon.
And Lynn with good forenoon. Have you heard about this forenoon thing?
No.
In Sweden, they say they have a word for like between morning and afternoon, which is forenoon.
Now.
Yeah. So if you say good morning to someone, it implies you've just woken up.
Okay.
So like if I said to you at like 11:30, good morning, they'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Why have you just woken up? So they say forenoon. What do you think of that? I hate it.
No, I kind of like that.
You like it?
Yeah. Thanks for letting me borrow Az last night, Lynn. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, we had some good comments on that, didn't we?
We did. It massively entertained Lee when I got home last night. He actually was still awake. So I did get to see him.
He's off to Monaco today, isn't he?
He's actually just texted me. He's just landed, hence why he's not in the chat today. But yes, he was thoroughly entertained. I was like, have you seen Az's tweet? He was like, oh no. He had a look and then he was like really laughing.
It was a good one.
Yeah, it was entertaining. The comments in that tweet were brilliant.
Nuclear Atoms, as you feel like you've lost your golden touch and everything you touch is turning to gold anymore. No,
It will this week.
No, I think someone asked me like about the deal I'd made with the devil this season, and I said I think that deal just ran up to Gameweek 33 when I got Gameweek in, because then since then I played the free hit in 34. That was the free hit, right? I don't want to keep moaning, but I think playing that free hit in 34 has cost me about 130 points. Because I would have free hitted this week into probably a very similar template team and had 100 points more than what I got, and it cost me 30 points in that game week as well. How brutal is that? But
that is such an FPL
thing,
isn't it? Like, you know, those decisions, like the decision that I made on wildcards, take Sun out for Kane, like those decisions at the time feel like the right thing to do, and on paper it's the right moment for your team to make those decisions. But sometimes it's just brutal, and it doesn't hit you just badly for 1 week. It can have the knock-on impact that it has on the weeks that follow can be absolutely enormous. And learning to deal with that is kind of tricky sometimes, particularly for somebody like you that's had an absolutely phenomenal season. So to have such a great season and then to have like a period of such bad luck is really difficult.
Yeah. Bad luck. I mean, you know, you can. I thought there was some kind of logic to it, like targeting those Chelsea players. But I look back and I look at the team I had, and the team I had didn't warrant a free hit. If we'd been on this Q&A and someone had asked, you know, if they should free hit that team, we both would have said no. So I think there's a bit of learnings to be had, but the brutality of it has been, and that's been the story of this season, though, right? It's been mistakes people have been punished so severely on things, and it's Mark that always says like the trick to having a good season isn't just making good or bad decisions. It's how much you get punished and rewarded by those decisions, and this season has been the most punishing, I think, ever in terms of those 50-50 calls. Cameron Starr, one for you, Sam. Who would you have as your third Spurs player, given they've got fantastic fixtures? Sessegnon or Kulu?
Oh, that's a tough one because, you know, I think, it depends on the budget. If you can afford to have the rest of your team the way that you want it, then I'd still go Kulusevski, because I think over the next two games, he he got a bit of a rest last night, brought him off early along with Son, which suggests to me that he'll be playing against Burnley and Norwich. And of course, he's going to play full strength in both of those games as long as there's a chance of the Champions League spot staying open for us. So I think if you can afford to budget for Kulusevski, I'd still have him as the third. But I do think with Sessegnon, you have an opportunity to save 2 million, which you can then reinvest maybe better across the rest of your squad. It might allow an upgrade on a cheaper midfielder to a City one, or it might allow you to have a third Liverpool player if you want to go there for the title running. I also think that, with the injuries that we've got defensively, Sessegnon and Royale on the other side are almost guaranteed to play 90 minutes across the next 2 games. They're against teams that maybe not Burnley. Maybe I could see something for Burnley, but against Norwich, I don't see them scoring in that game. Like, they just haven't shown anything in the way of attacking threat in recent game weeks. So you should have some clean sheet points there alongside the attacking returns. We've seen Sessegnon get one against Liverpool. Both of them last night could have had attacking returns. I think Sessegnon's more likely because he can actually cross the ball, whereas Royale's crosses are... Well, I put in one last night, actually, which was quite good.
It was funny watching him last night because we were in the second half. We were right by when Spurs were attacking, and you could see Royale would get the ball, run down the wing, look into the box, and then there'd be something in his brain that would go, "Oh no, I've been told not to cross this," and then pass it back. Yeah, he did one cross, didn't he? And it
went, yeah. And actually, that one cross he put in was quite good for a change.
It was, yeah.
But I think Sessegnon's attacking threat is better, which is why I'd go for him. Plus, he's a little bit cheaper, so I'd go for him over Royale. Straight choice between the two, I'd go Kulusevski. But if budget means that it's better to spend that 2 million elsewhere, then I think Sessegnon is a great third pick.
Yeah, because you look at this week and you look at some of the kind of the midfielders around Kulusevski's price. You've got like Zaha, you've got Maddison potentially. Like I like those two, and if you could get one of those and Sessegnon, I wonder if, particularly with Maddison as well, because I'm going to keep banging on about it. That game in 38 against Southampton at home, that could be a bloodbath. Leicester love playing Southampton. Southampton have been awful away from home again. Vardy in that game, Maddison, Barnes.
Just really struggle with knowing what Leicester we're going to get.
Well, that's the problem.
My issue is that yes, we had a really good performance from Leicester in the last game. We saw, Jamie Vardy back doing what Jamie Vardy does. But what is their motivation in these final 2 game weeks of the season? Are they going to come out and play really well? Are they going to just be ropey again?
Their motivation is, Rodgers has basically said, we have a big squad of players, some of which aren't really good enough, and there's going to be a shake-up in the summer. And it's similar to Newcastle's motivation as well against Arsenal, because you could argue, well, what are they playing for? But at the same time, it's their last home game, same with Leicester. Leicester have had a pretty up and down season. There's players in there that haven't performed. I think they're going to want to go with a bang. Southampton have just given up.
Well, they definitely have. That is definitely true. But the question for me, though, is it's not really... I don't think, Rodgers isn't saying that about the likes of Maddison and Barnes and Vardy. So is that motivating for them? I guess if the rest of the Leicester team starts playing better, then it is. Because they will inevitably play better if they've got better players around them. I feel really unsure about Leicester and what Leicester we get turning up. I also feel I think if you go with Maddison and Vardy, the question I have of Vardy is how many minutes does he get over this double game? Is he going to play twice? Is he fit enough to play quick minutes? And I don't know. What do you think about Vardy? Would he be on your list?
It's tricky because of his price, and you're looking, if you're getting him, you're having to take out one of Son, Kane, De Bruyne, or Salah, of which I like. Maybe Salah can be covered with Jota because it's the final, and we think Jota's going to play. But would I take Vardy over Kane, Son, and De Bruyne? Probably not. So I think he's a good differential. I think it's one of those ones where if you are chasing and you want to do something a bit different,
on a free hit, maybe you go Vardy.
On a free hit, yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be using. I wouldn't be buying him, but a free hit. I think he's a consideration. Anything could happen in that Watford game.
Yeah, that's true.
If he starts, I do like Maddison though for 37 and 38. He's a player that I'm probably not going to have unless I sell Saka for him, which feels risky. But I do think Leicester play strong teams in these 3 games, and I particularly like that game.
Yeah, okay.
We went way off topic on that question.
Right,
but,
yeah, we went rogue there, didn't we?
But that's the thing, that going without Kulusevski gives you that more flexibility. If you go for Session, you can be a bit more flexible.
Yeah,
but
and particularly as there's not that many really attractive looking double game week defenders this week either. So going with Sessegnon, although only with a single game, it is a nice single game week, and there's potential for defensive and attacking returns.
Yep. Bernardo Santos, as you have to back Bruno Guimaraes, start him against Arsenal defence. Don't you worry, he's on my bench boost. He will be starting.
Honestly, if he goes mental, he will have to be he'll have to go down in the FPL family Hall of Fame for players.
Well, he's not on my wall next season. I've already had a Reece James printed out, so I didn't get his points last week, which was I think the first haul I've had that I've missed of his this season.
I had those finally a haul.
Yeah, I'm a lot of relieved people getting those, but yeah, he'll be up on my wall next season because he's been brilliant. Let's skip Bayless. Should I swap Salah out for Son or KDB? Also, what do you think about a Diaz punt?
Do you know this question I've had a lot this morning? I've had a lot of questions about Son and what do you do? And we were talking about this on the walk out of the Spurs Stadium yesterday, weren't we, about whether you sell Salah for Son? Because for most people, that is going to be the only route that you have to bring in Son in if you don't have him, is going to be to sell another premium asset. I would really struggle to sell Salah ahead of game against Southampton. So I think if you're thinking about doing it, you have to wait until the cup final's done tomorrow and just see what happens in that one. Because if Salah plays 120 minutes in the cup final tomorrow, then maybe there's more legitimate grounds for doing it, because obviously they've also got the Champions League final to consider as well, and they're not going to want to lose that one. So maybe there's an opportunity there with the amount of quality forwards that Klopp has for there to be a little bit of rest and rotation again. But Salah's missed 2 of the last 4 starts anyway. So does he really need another? I just really struggle with selling Salah ahead of Southampton is the short answer of what I'm trying to say. Even for Son, I really find that a difficult thing to do.
I don't think this is the week to do it, because I think if City do end up dropping points to West Ham, say West Ham do manage a draw or even a win, and it's not completely out of the realms of possibility. West Ham are a good side. They've got Jared Bowen against a makeshift City defence. The most likely thing is City win that game 2-1, 3-1, something like that. But you never know. 2-2 draw or something could happen. That means Liverpool go into that Southampton game so fired up, and Southampton at the moment are the worst defence in the league.
They've not lost their 9-0 yet either.
Exactly. So that's coming probably. It's their final home game of the season, but it looks to me like they've thrown in the towel. So that could be anything. I think this week it's a coin flip between Son and Salah. I think 38 though. If City do beat West Ham, I think then
Salah's rested ahead of the Champions League final.
I think Liverpool target that final. Maybe Salah starts, but you're looking at an early sub. Do they go full gung ho to win that game? Spurs v Norwich could be anything. Let's be honest. It could be absolutely anything. 6-0 wouldn't surprise me for Spurs. I thought they played brilliantly last night. So in 38, I'd much rather have Son than Salah if results go the way, and we won't know that until after 37. But for 37, I think you stick with Salah, personally.
Yeah.
What about Diaz?
I like that as a pick. I do like that as a pick. I think he is going to be integral to what Liverpool do next season. And I think in FPL next season, I'm absolutely intrigued to see where FPL price him, because he should be way more expensive than he is. And I think he will probably go up in price. He is a player I would punt on. I would absolutely take a punt on him. If you are going to sell Salah for Son, if you're going to do that, then also using some of that additional leftover money to bring in DS instead of Salah would also feel like a good way to just not have no Liverpool for that game against Southampton, which does not feel like a place I'd want to be.
No, that's it. And I know it shouldn't be important, but as well, it's the only game on Tuesday. You're going into Tuesday 7:45 with no Liverpool attack versus.
You're guaranteed a red, aren't you?
That's going to be nasty. Yeah, I guess the thing with Diaz, I guess, is just the minutes, right? If he plays, like you say, if he plays 120 minutes in that game, in the final, you've got to think Jota's going to come into that game.
I don't think Luis Diaz is going to get 120 minutes in the final. Even if it went through extra time, I don't think Diaz or Jota plays every minute of that game. Whereas I think there's a good chance that Salah does.
Yeah.
There's a good chance Mane does. But with the other two, there's a chance that a very good chance, a likely chance that they share those minutes. So going into Southampton, I think they're both
exactly. I think it's almost certainly going to be Jota that comes in for Southampton, and he'll rest one of Diaz or Mane, potentially the one that comes off, who plays for longer.
Yes.
So if Mane does play the full, 120, I don't know why we keep saying 120, but it could be. Then
it's going to be a very long cup final, according to us.
Yeah, I know. Well, two relatively evenly matched teams. We're expecting Liverpool to win, but Chelsea are a good side.
Won't be easy. That will not be an easy game for Liverpool, no. and that's why I want to wait before I make any firm decisions on my transfers, because I've got 4 players playing in that cup final, and that could be. Can you imagine making a transfer tonight only to then find one of them gets injured in the cup final on Saturday? It's just a disaster, isn't it?
Yeah, it's why I felt okay about the goalkeeper move though, because even for a hit, even if I've taken another transfer, I would still make that Ramsdale to Pickford move, because I just think Pickford outscores him by 4 points regardless. And the price is Pickford's very close to a rise and Ramsdale's very close to a fall. So I thought just get that out of the way. But anything else I would hold off on. I've got the team news video coming up of Neil at 3. We've got another game tomorrow. Do hold on to those transfers until after that final would be my suggestion as well.
Yeah.
FPL Lighthouse, who are your single game week must-haves on a game week 37 free hit?
Spurs. I think if you're free hitting, you definitely want.
Would you go both, Son and Kane?
I would. If I was free hitting this week, I would. Yeah, I'd go Son. I'd go Kane. I'd triple Spurs if I was on a free hit this week. I'd go Son, I'd go Kane. If I could do it, I'd also go Kulusevski, or I'd go Sessegnon at the back. I think that's important. I think investing in Liverpool is important on a free hit as well. Man City, I'd have KDB, I'd have Cancelo, and then I'd take a risk on another one, probably Foden. I think, although they have got West Ham and it is a tough game, but I just think that the way that you've got to look at motivations going into these as well as the nice fixtures. So the teams with the best fixtures and the best motivations are the ones to target. So tripling up on Spurs makes sense. With the double up teams that you're going to want from the double game week teams, you're probably then going to only have a couple of spots. So maybe you just go Kevin De Bruyne and Cancelo for Manchester City. They would be the 2 teams that I would be looking to really heavily invest in.
It is tough. It is very, very tough to build a free hit team with Son, Salah and Kane. I have to say.
And KDB, if you can't get all of them, so you've got to make choices.
It's impossible to have all 4, and then they are single game players, because then you're going to want Zaha, you're going to want Richarlison. Gordon seems a bit of a gift at 4.6. Pickford at 4.8. You're probably not going to drop Trent or Cancelo.
Unlikely.
Either. So I don't think you can actually do it. I think it's very hard to make a good looking free hit team with Son, Salah and Kane. I think you have to sacrifice one of them. Personally.
If you have to sacrifice one of them, obviously I wouldn't. It's a free hit, so you can make a change last minute. But I think it would be Kane that I would sacrifice. I'd have Salah and Son, and I'd get Kulusevski in instead of Kane.
Because in terms of the double game week players you want, I think you want Richarlison and Pickford. They've got the 2.
Probably Gordon as well for budget purposes.
Probably Gordon, so that's triple Everton, so that's 3 of your spots. I would take a punt on Zaha.
Yeah, I would too.
Take a punt.
And I'd probably also take a punt on Anderson at Palace.
Okay, so that's 6, and then one of Cash or Dean probably.
Yeah.
So that's 7. So that gives you 4 single game week slots in theory. You put Son in there, Salah in there, Trent and Cancelo. That's probably your free hit team. There you go. Yeah. It's something like that. But in terms of must-haves...
Well, Son and Salah are must-haves, in my opinion, as long as Salah makes it through the cup final.
Yeah.
On a free hit.
If I was free hitting, based on what I saw yesterday, I wouldn't go without Son. He's a central striker for Spurs. The runs he's making...
He's also 1 point behind in the Golden Boot race. And I'm not kidding you. That has been mentioned on... more Spurs posts in the last couple of weeks than I have ever seen. Like, it's coming up all the time. Eric Dyer gave an interview about how they're giving him pep talks before matches about the Golden Boot race. So normally that kind of stuff just doesn't really play a part, but I do think that it's big for Son and his form at the moment. Like, I feel like he could score any touch that arrives at his feet. I feel like it's about to go in. So I wouldn't be going without it. I mean, I probably am going to go without him again, to be honest, but if I was free hitting, I would not be.
No. The only consideration I would potentially make is if it is doing Salah to Jota. And take, so 1 week punt, you're taking the risk that the underlying stats between them are pretty similar. We're all pretty sure Jota's going to start. Obviously, there's a gamble to be made there, but that saves you so much money. That saves you like 5 million. And then that's when you could take a punt on Vardy, maybe up front if you wanted to inspect your money, or you could go for someone like De Bruyne to pair with Son. I think
Son, Kane.
Yeah, Son's the must-have for me. Single game with players. The rest of them, I think, is open.
I mean, I think Son goes in the must-haves for just general F37. Like even alongside some of those double game weekers we've talked about. I think
we haven't got him.
With them. Yeah, but we've not got him. But we're not free hitting. Like that's the other thing is it's like if you're not free hitting. So for me, I'm planning to free hit in 38. I now have some big decisions to be made as to what I do about Son going into game week 37. Do I take out Salah for him, which is the only way I can budget for bringing Son in? And that's a decision I can't make until after the game tomorrow when I know exactly what the position is with Salah, what the position is with Liverpool. And I'll make that decision then. But I do have Kane, and I do think that, I mean, that's the other thing I could do. I could sell Kane, free up money and bring Son in instead. But I equally don't like the idea of selling Kane. Like, he was really good last night and could have returned so much more than he did. So I'm really torn on it. It's really hard. But on a free hit, I think Son is absolutely one of the first names you put on a team sheet.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I would say at this stage, I'm pretty sure I'm going to sell Salah ahead of 38 and get Son.
Well, I'm free hitting then anyway, so
yeah, so you're fine.
I don't.
Exactly.
I just have to worry about 37. Like, what am I doing in 37? Do I risk it against Burnley? Going without Son against Burnley just does not feel fun.
No, it's a tricky 2 weeks this, because then as well, like you think in 38, Chelsea have got Watford at home.
Yeah.
So I haven't got any Chelsea players. So I'm looking at like Mount and maybe Havertz or James or Alonso, these kind of guys. But also I'm looking, I need to get Son. Also I'm thinking maybe Liverpool could be. Now I've got 3 Everton players. It's all kind of. Yeah, it's a very tricky end to the season, I think, especially with like the rotation when all that stuff kicks in.
Yeah.
As well. Stephen Gallagher, hi guys. Thank you for the super chat, Stephen. Hi guys, I could do Coutinho and Pukki to Gordon and Richarlison for free, but not totally convinced. Nor am I on Everton in general, but here I am with free. Or I could start building for 38 players like Nketiah, Kulu, and James. What would you do? Good question.
So it's a good question. So I'm not convinced about Everton either. However, they are, if Everton are going to do well, those are the two that are going to be involved in that, I would have said. Going for somebody like Kulusevski, I think this week could also be a really good idea, because it's not like he's got a bad fixture in game week 37. He's got a good fixture in 37, and it would set you up then for the game in 38 as well.
Seems a shame to take Coutinho out, given that he's got the 2 home games.
Yeah, because if anything, Coutinho to Kulusevski in game week 38 feels like the move you'd make.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be taking Coutinho out this week.
Who was the other person that was going up? Pukki.
Yeah, Coutinho and Pukki.
You want to sell Pukki.
You want to get rid of Pukki. I think I prefer Pukki to Nketiah with that 38 game in mind than I do getting rid of Coutinho. But I mean, Richarlison's an interesting captain choice, right? Because he's got the 2 home games.
But if you've got Son in there anyway.
Yeah, if you don't captain Richarlison, then I guess you're going for someone like Salah or Son, which isn't a terrible option.
Or Zaha, if you've got him.
I wouldn't sell Coutinho personally.
I don't think I would either ahead of this.
No, I think given that I would do the second one, what you said, Stephen, which is start building for 38.
Do the Nketiah move this week and do Coutinho to Kulusevski the week after.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
FPL Timbers. Hi, Az and Sam. I've got no specific reason to super chat other than to say hi and to give some money to the charity.
Oh, thank you.
On a free hit this week, having suffered a 200% red arrow in Game Week 36. That's nothing. 400% here. Well, 400%.
400% red arrow is horrible. A 200% red arrow is horrible. I don't even know what my percent was. I'll look.
It's best not to look. Live FPL is brilliant, but also evil for these kind of things.
I would look, but the cat is sitting on my phone. So, and it's asleep.
Honestly, ignorance is bliss in this current predicament. Suleiman Rana, 2,440. It's always interesting when we get the currencies in. I never quite know how much it is. I believe that's Japanese yen, which works out about £15.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing.
Such an amazing charity list, and something that I think we've listened to Gianni's boss speak about this at an event, and it really touched a nerve with me. I think particularly as a parent, looking at all the opportunities that my children get. Being able to help disadvantaged children and through football is just it's just something that's so close to our heart. So thank you very much.
Is there a question? Oh, there is a question. It's just a bit further down. KDB and Vardy or Kane and Maddison? That's a good one.
Does he say if he's already got Son?
That is all the information I have.
KDB and Vardy.
That's more fun.
Son and Maddison. Do you know? I think
Kane and Maddison.
Kane and Maddison. It's really tough because I like the Kane pick over Maddison, and I like the KD pick. I like the Kane pick over Vardy, and I like the KDB pick over Maddison, obviously. But I think, and it's difficult because KDB and Kane both have equally good motivations for these last couple of weeks. Spurs' fixtures are nicer. I think Maddison's minutes will be potentially better than Vardy's, given he's just coming back from injury, which might sway me to Kane and Maddison.
I mean, KDB and Vardy is a lot more expensive than Kane and Maddison, so it doesn't really seem like a completely fair comparison.
But also, I think it does depend. If you've already got Son, but you don't have a Man City attacker, then I might be inclined to go with KDB instead.
Yeah. If I'm picking out of those two, I'm going to say KDB and Vardy. There you go. be exciting. Zubin Yahuri, any benefits of free hitting in 38 is what you're doing?
That's what I'm doing, yeah.
I've got 4 double game weeks in 37. Yeah, how come you're using it in 38 and not this week?
Honestly, I'm not that thrilled about the double game week players for this week. So yes, I think there is good scope to free hit this week. You fill your team with Everton and Palace, and you take some chances on, Leicester being actually decent in this one. But I look at my team for this week, and I think there's a number of single game week teams that have got really nice fixtures, and I own those players. So there's a real risk that I free hit out a lot of points this week by taking out players that I think could do well in the single game week fixture that they have. And then I look at my team for game week 38, and I think, yes, there's no doubles, but there's always, you can target in on teams and players that have something particularly massive to fight for. So Spurs, Arsenal, depending upon what happens with that top 4 spot, they will both be teams that look likely to target. Depending upon what happens with the Liverpool result, I think one of two things happen in game week 37. Either Manchester City win and pretty much secure the title, in which case Liverpool could rotate badly in 38 ahead of the Champions League final. And therefore, I might have to have a little rethink about what my Liverpool players look like anyway, or the race is still on, and then I want to target both Manchester City and Liverpool ahead of that final game week of the season. Like, I think, and you'll know what's happening towards the bottom. If there are teams that look like it's still going to be a hunt for staying in the Premier League, then you target on them. Plus, you get all the press conferences at once, good knowledge about what the managers are saying about injuries and potential rotation. Sometimes they're a little bit more free speaking if they've got nothing left to really play for on the final day of the season. And you've got teams that you can kind of know, like Newcastle maybe this year, that you think there's a lot to play for in those like one or two teams that, like Rogers has already suggested it with Leicester, might be one or two teams that are in the hunt for big changes this summer. So, or new managers or that sort of thing. So I really like the free hit in 38. I've done it once before. It was the best free hit I've ever done. Because I think you just have the clarity of information going into the final day. And I like being able to select players knowing, a bit like you do for game week 1, except in game week 1, you also have to make them work for the rest of, or for at least a foreseeable future. Whereas this time it's like I'm picking basically a game week 1 team and not having to worry about them moving forward or what impact that might have, or whether I'm going to free hit one in to want to bring them in on a transfer the week after, because afterwards it doesn't matter.
There's some good games as well. I mean, Arsenal
There are.
at home to Everton, Chelsea at home to Watford, Man City at home to Villa. You've got the Spurs game. You haven't got Son, for example. You can get him easy. Palace at home to United. Brentford at home to Leeds. There's loads of teams. Those are budget options. Those are premium options that you can target.
And I think it also allows you to build a free hit team where, and I think I said this to you yesterday, where the bench has a lot of really cheap enablers who are going to play. So if they need it, then they can come on. But it means that you can put all of the budget that you have for your squad into the 11 and not have to worry too much about, is something bad going to happen? Are they going to get rotated? Because you'll be as up to date as you can with the information. Yep.
Absolutely. We've had loads of super chats come in. I know you've got a run in 8 minutes.
I do. I have to take my mum to the hospital. So
yes, you do. I could carry on my own. To be fair, if you drop out and just drop it, we'll go down to Suleiman Rana's asked another question. We'll go down to that. Any super chats after Suleiman Rana, I will answer.
I can give you my text update as well later.
I'll do the text updates, but we'll carry on and I will go down to that anyway, even if you disappear. So that's fine. Although it's going to mess all the webcams up. I can fix that on the fly.
Oh my gosh.
Sort of know what I'm doing.
Dream's going to fall apart.
The stream will always fall apart when you leave, Sam, but I'll do the best I can.
Be all right.
Samudra Gupta. Hi, guys. I'm currently on Tavares. Yes. And got screwed over this game week. Sam, can you suggest a nailed-on Spurs defender around that similar price tag? P.S. Loved as his red arrow. His Midas touch is finally waning. Well, screw you, Samudra. How about that? You've done a nice thing donating to charity, but I hate you. Was it worth it?
Yeah, you just had a bad couple of weeks. You'll bounce back, as I know you will. It's going to be fine. I have faith in you.
I'm not even going to answer Samudra, but he didn't want my opinion anyway. He just wants your opinion on nailed-on Spurs defenders.
So Tavares, I think, is 4.3. So you can have Sessegnon for exactly the same price. That is the move I would make. 100%. I think Sessegnon is the best Spurs. How has this happened that I'm saying this? The Spurs, he's currently the best option in the Spurs defence. I think without Reguilon there, he's going to play every game that we have left. The 2 games that we have left, he'll play both of them. His attacking threat is way better than Royale's on the other side. So I think there's a chance for attacking returns there. So yeah, Sessegnon.
Yep. No, you didn't even want my opinion, but I'm going to give it anyway. I agree. Let's get Bayless. Bench 1 of Sessegnon, Cancelo and Saka. I would bench Saka.
I'd bench Saka too.
Yeah, I think
I might sell Saka this week.
It's interesting with Newcastle, Arsenal, because I was doing the FPL pod earlier, and I didn't know Newcastle haven't scored against Arsenal in their last 7 meetings in all competitions, but Newcastle have only lost 1 of their last 8 home games. So I think it's going to be a really tricky game for Arsenal. I think it's going to be a draw. I think these 2 teams can each other out. I don't think this is a game in which Saka gets loads and loads of points. I think it is a game in which Sessegnon and Cancelo could do really well. So I would bench Saka on the base of that. But yeah, really, really interesting game now on Tuesday Monday for that Newcastle Arsenal game.
Yeah, it's going to be another game that I sit feeling sick for most of, isn't it? Because it's going to have so much on it for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would do the same. I would bench Saka too.
Yep. You good for another few minutes or?
Yeah, I'm good for another couple of minutes. Yeah.
Good for minutes. Samar95, Salah replacement. Here we go. Now we are getting into the crazy end of the season. Salah replacements. I have Foden and Son already.
Why do you want to replace him then?
mean, the obvious Salah replacement is Son. If you've already got him, would you replace Salah with De Bruyne? Would you bring De Bruyne in for Salah? I wouldn't
We've
do it
got
this week.
Foden already. So
Yeah.
you only think you'd want to do it this week? Like, what would you be? It must be to use the money for something else. My personal opinion is that if you've got Son already and a Man City attacker, there's no one better than Salah.
I agree. I completely agree. I think there's so many, like, I look at my team and there are so many issues with it. Salah, moving Salah, not having Son is one of them. But if I don't have that decision to make, there's so many other transfers that I could be doing. You could be targeting double game week players this week. Zaha, Ings,
Totally.
like them, Dean, Cash, Richarlison, Gordon.
Yeah.
You could be setting yourself up for 38 with James, with Mount, with these guys. I just don't think Salah out should be a priority for people if you've got Son. That's my own personal. But then I said that last week, and then De Bruyne got 4 goals. So
Yeah, but he's not going to do that again, is he? He's not. I can't see him getting 4 goals against West Ham, and you've got Foden already, who could equally do just as well. So I don't think that there's any need to sell Salah if you already own a City midfielder and Son.
James Leosi, hi guys, current free hit team: Pickford, Cash, Dean, Cancelo, Son, Zaha, Diaz, Kevin De Bruyne, Vardy, Richarlison, Ings. Oh, that is a nice team. Any glaring changes you'd make? Oh, I love it. Pickford, Cash, Dean, Cancelo, Son, Zaha, Diaz, KDB, Vardy, Richarlison, Ings. See, that's what happens when you downgrade Salah. I think I would probably go Jota over Diaz. But bear, we can see what's going to happen.
But bear in mind what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. But I love that team. I think that team is as strong as it gets, pretty much. I love the Vardy shout in there, even though there's a bit of a worry he could only play one. But everything else in that team looks great, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think there's many changes I would make to that. I would put Anderson on the bench at Palace. I think he could be a good pick this week.
Yeah. Chimpy666, KDB to Son for free or roll. See, that's an interesting one as well, because I know a lot of people that bought in KDB for this double game week with the complete intention to then sell him for Son for this Burnley and Norwich game. Do you still do it?
I think I would do it.
You would still do it?
Only because that Man City game, I think they'll win, but it's West Ham, right? And I don't think that's not that easy a game. West Ham have got some really good attacking players. Yes, they'll be spacing behind. Yes, Man City will score goals. Yes, I think Man City will win the game. Do I think that Kevin De Bruyne is going to get 4 goals again? No. Do I think he could get 1? Yes. Do I think he could get 2? Yes. Do I think Son could get 1? Yes. Do I think he could get 4? Yes. Against Burnley, I do think he could. And do I think I'd rather have Son on the final day of the season against Norwich? Yes. So therefore, I'd do it.
Still do it? Wow. I don't think I could physically sell De Bruyne after he just got that haul.
It will be a tough sell, but I just think the Burnley and Norwich fixtures are so nice that if you don't have Son...
No, it's good. You've got to look forward rather than just, looking at last week's points. And yeah, Burnley at home is a better game than West Ham away. So there's definitely nothing wrong with it. I would just find it hard. Again, it's one of those ones where, like, if it's your only priority, if you've got nothing else that you want to do, then it's up there. But, there's lots of other good games. There's lots of other things you could do with it. But yeah, I would rather have Son for these 2 weeks than De Bruyne. So
exactly.
I guess maybe you do it. Yeah. Excellent.
Right, one more and then I'm going.
One more than you're going. Okay, I'll carry on. I'll do the rest. J90, should I get Zaha or Ings for a -4?
Zaha.
There you go. Easy one. I don't know. I think if Watkins is fit, you get Ings. Because Ings likes to play with a busy striker. But then he's got City.
Man City on the final day, and that's what I hate. Is like, if you're bringing him, are you going to just take him straight back out again in game week 38? Like, I think if you bring in Zaha, I mean, they've got Manchester United on the final day at home against a Manchester United team that are like awful. He's taken the most penalties in the league this season. He's also in great form, Zaha. I wrote some stuff about him in an article, and I was like, I didn't realise he was playing quite so well at the moment. I never think to go with Zaha, but I do think he's the talisman at Palace. 2 nice-looking fixtures on paper where they could score goals, and a nice final fixture on the final day against a Manchester United team that are in turmoil. at home to end a really great season under Vieira and build for the summer. I like Zaha for the next 2 weeks.
See, I don't love Zaha's fixtures in 37. I think Villa are away and Everton away. They're two teams that are very strong defensively at home, and Palace themselves aren't great away from home from an attacking
They aren't.
sense. So
But
I think purely for 37, I'd go Ings over Zaha, given he's got 2 home games. But you're completely right about 38. I think Zaha at home to United in 38, that could be a big score. He's gonna terrorise those fullbacks.
I think so.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to leave you.
You're gonna go.
Bye,
Goodbye,
everybody.
Sam.
I'll
Thank
see
you for
you.
joining us.
I'll be back next week.
You'll be back next week.
Ready for
normal
Game Week
time.
38.
Oh,
I'll
the final
talk
game.
through my final hit, my free hit.
I love it. Goodbye, Sam.
Bye-bye.
I will stay on. Let me just fix these screens. Can I just move myself, maybe? Oh, look at that. It's not very straight. Look at this, bit of live. Hang on. There you go. And then we'll move Sam. Delete Sam to avoid confusion. Right, I will stay on for a bit. Why not? I'll have to walk the dog in a bit, but it's fine. It's weird on my own. Right, Stephen Gallagher. Just another scenario to earlier is I could do Saka to Zaha and Pukki to Nketiah for free, and then do Coutinho to Kulu. Already have Salah, KDB, and so on. Saka to Zaha is an interesting one. It's something that I was potentially looking at, or Saka to Maddison. Pukki to Nketiah, I mean, just looks great to me. And then Coutinho to Kulu, I'm assuming in 38 for, as Sam said, already have Salah, KDB, and Son. Saka to Zaha, that's an interesting one. I don't particularly like Saka for 37, but I think at home to Everton, you're going to want him. I'm not expecting huge things from Zaha in 37. I was really hot on him. I would still include him on a free hit, but I think purely for 37, I think given he's got those 2 quite tough away games, I'm not entirely sure I would do that for, although it is for free. Saka, Zaha and Pukki to Nketiah for free. It does set you up nicely for 38. Yeah, okay, I'm going to say yes, Stephen. I'm going to say yes to that. I think Zaha and Saka in 38, I think Zaha could do really well as well as Saka. And then you've got Nketiah to kind of cover Saka anyway. Yep, I'm going to say yes. Russell Baker, thank you for the super chat. How many hits for non-free hit 37ers? Foster to Pickford, have Ramsdale, Mahrez to Zaha. Mahrez, that's a frustrating one for a -4. That punt didn't work last week, as it never does. The punt with Mahrez never works. Is Pukki to Watkins if fit too much? -8 and play Dewsbury Hall instead. A -8. Okay, so -8 for Foster to Pickford, Mahrez to Zaha, and Pukki to Watkins. I like it. I like it. I think you're gaining so many games from those players. Mahrez is a bit like Barnes for me last week. I knew Barnes could do quite well, but if he doesn't play, he's not going to do anything, and it's impossible to know when he is going to play. So I think Mahrez probably starts against West Ham, but I wouldn't bet money on it. You're guaranteeing 2 starts with Zaha. He's on pens. You've got him for 38. Yeah, I think Foster to Pickford, Mahrez to Zaha, and Pukki to Watkins, if he's fit, is a nice move. I would do it. You don't want to be playing Dewsbury Hall, I don't think. He doesn't get points or do anything. Suleiman Rana, I think this is the last one I said I'd go up to. Yes, it is. And there's no other super chats anyway, so that's worked out well. Pickford, Dean, Cash, Mikolenko, Zaha, Son, De Bruyne, Salah, Vardy, Ings, captain, Richarlison is my team locked in. I mean, again, it's a lovely team. Double Everton defence, I don't think too many people are going to have that. You've got Richarlison there. I mean, you've got all the... I mean, you've got Son, KDB, Salah and Vardy in that side. It's hard to know where your kind of weaknesses are. I mean, your team value must be crazy. Yeah, I like it all. I think it's... I mean, I see that team. I think that team's going to absolutely smash it this week. So, yeah, that's good. Guaran Ranjan, there was no need... was that me? Was that when I said I hated you? I'm sorry, Guaran. I don't really... oh, no, it was Samadra who said that. I don't really hate you, by the way, Samudra. And in fact, if you want to send in super chats and support Street Child United and slag off my terrible week or slag me off generally, that's fine. You can do that. I will take that on the chin for Street Child United. So don't worry at all. I think that's it then. That's all the super chats done. Sam's gone. That's all good. Yeah, I think I'll call it there then. Guys, thank you so much. Loads of great comments. Good luck in Gameweek 37. I've already done my transfer, which is Ramsdale to Pickford. I've got triple Everton. I've got a bench boost of Dubravka, Hwang, Roberts, and Bruno Gomes. I might take another hit, but like I said right at the start of this stream, it's really difficult to know who to go for. I mean, Hwang up to someone looks obvious, but Hwang to Welbeck, I could just about afford. I could do Roberts to Klein. I was looking at that potentially, but then I've got, I don't know. Maybe Roberts to Klein for a -4 is worth it. I think I'll leave Gomes and Dubravka. So I might just take a -4 and do Roberts to Klein. But 2 away games for Palace. I'm not entirely sure that's that good. We've had one more. Face out Ali. Choose one, Vardy or Ings. I would pick Ings. He's going to play both, and I worry a bit about Vardy. I think Vardy's a fun, kind of exciting pick, but sense-wise, I think Ings with those 2 home games, the form he's in, looks good. I think if Watkins is out, though, I do think that does dent Ings' appeal. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully we'll get some news on that later. I'll be doing the team news video with Neil at 3 o'clock. But guys, thank you so much. I will see you all 3 o'clock for team news. Sam and I'll be back next week. But until then,